Mike, I'm so tired, but I don't want to have an energy drink or a cup of coffee because I fear the after effects.
What if I told you there was something more effective out there than energy drinks when it comes to focus and mental performance? And it doesn't come with jitters, energy crashes, or anything related to those side effects of caffeine. Amazing flavors such as pineapple and mango, blueberry verdana, and one of my favorites, raspberry and mint. Now, I've actually had nootropics. I take these when I'm feeling a little bit low and I just need that energy boost for an afternoon meeting. Tell you what, Steve, they do the trick. This week, we are sponsored by Bright Drinks. Bright make a wonderful new drink for better focus, better concentration, alertness with nothing artificial. Nootropics helps to improve focus and productivity without the typical side effects of caffeine alone.
You can discover it on brightdrinks.com, Sainsbury's, and many more. A very happy and festive welcome to the first of our Christmas specials here at the Bad Scripts Presents The Last Resort.
So before we get started, I just wanted to do a big shout out to the guys from the podcast with nothing to say. These guys do movie reviews. They talk about all sorts of things related to them, but make sure you give them a listen wherever you get your podcasts. You will not regret it.
With me, as ever, jingling his bells for all to see, none other than my best friend in the world, Mr. Mike Garlia. How are you, Mike?
Merry Christmas. Is that good? Was that a good Santa?
Oh, I thought you were having a stroke. Sorry, at the beginning there was, but no, it was.
I think that's what happens when you're jingling my bells. To be honest with you, I think that's what it sounds like. Hello, yes, nice to be back after a little hiatus from Halloween, and nice to get back into this and reconnect with our characters.
Absolutely, and for those people that don't know, we took our 18-year-old script and we finished it. We wrote it, we read it all, we've acted it all out, and we've done it. And we could have stopped there, but no, people knocking on the door saying, "Oh, we want to hear more. What happened to these characters?" So, in the Halloween special, spoiler alert now, we learned that some of the camp coats were being kept on over winter because of a clerical error. And that also, dramatically, despite finally Adam and Sam getting together, and Sam being offered a role in the show, in the band that were going to appear in the shows next season, her actions of punching Kelly at the end of season party, Halloween party, resulted in her not being invited back for the next season, and that's kind of where we left it. Have I missed anything out there, Mike?
No, I think you've summarised that pretty spot on. We left it on a little bit of a cliffhanger in terms of that one, and we've had comments from some that have said they felt that Sam did the right thing. They feel that Kelly was in the wrong. That perhaps we were a bit too hard. But that's what happens. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and unfortunately, you have to face it. That's what you never see. That you always see that in films where they do something like that, but you never see the aftermath of the next day. Like someone loses their job or something like bad happens, or there's or the police are called, whatever. But this is the reality of what happens. You can't punch someone in the face and not get punished.
Absolutely, they were on a works do. And you punch one of your colleagues, you're not just going to ride that one out, are you? So absolutely.
Not without a safe word, Steve. Not without
Exactly.
a safe word.
Always banana. Fantastic. So, Mike, we've written Christmas specials. So we've got the close season now to explain for everybody. The time between the end of the season that we wrote 18 years ago and the next season, which we are in the process of writing right now. We've written a close season special that will cover several episodes of our illustrious podcast. So what do? We sit tight, We get ready and we experience some more Last Resort. Exterior Camp Resort Day. It's a frosty and cold morning, and snow is threatening. The camera sweeps up to reveal the now quiet and desolate resort. The stalls lay empty, the venue is locked. There is no movement apart from the wind blowing a few crisp packets into the air, dancing like a couple of chavs at a Black Friday pound shop sale. The camera holds aloft. The waves and foam of the freezing sea appears in the distance. The spray making its way far inland and dancing its way across the now almost empty car park. The camp looks sad, dark, and deserted. The joyous cries of children long absent. Suddenly, a bass line fades into earshot, getting louder with every passing beat, disturbing the tranquility of the now lifeless resort. The camera pans down to focus in on the sound and sees a chalet lit up, the windows emitting a warmth and glow that only occupation can provide. The camera moves towards this inviting image, the music getting louder and louder and louder. Then it stops. It then starts all over again. Interior Guest Chalet Day. We're in the lounge of the chalet. It's empty. The last beat of the song, ReEat Wine, finishes, and there is a small silence. We hear a noise and shuffling. Shouting from one of the bedrooms fills the noise. Dan, I swear to God, if you play that fucking song again, I'm gonna... The song Rewind interrupts Robin, and all we hear is ReEat Wine when the crowd say Bolt Selector. Fuck!
Morning.
Adam emerges from one of the bedrooms and walks into the kitchen where Dan is stood, chopping up meat. All right, mate. Fancy a bacon butty? Adam looks down and sees a mound of red raw bacon meat.
Bloody hell. How much?
You like my bargain? Butchers in town. Kilo of offcuts for a £5, mate. They'll feed me for a week. Robin now comes flying out of his room, storms into the kitchen with an angry look on his face. Staring at Dan, he opens the CD player, removes the disc, and casually throws it across the room. Hey, I was listening to that for the 15th fucking time on a loop this morning. Craig David on vocals, mate. Cracking. Lad's gonna be massive. Never heard of him. Don't care either. He's shit and I'm sick of that stupid song. You've been playing that for the past 7 days. Enough is enough. Adam, back me up here. Adam looks at Dan, then Robin, then back at Dan again.
You need a bacon sandwich. My treat.
Oi, I bought it.
I'll cook it.
Go on then. Brown sauce with mine. We don't have any. We've got some mayo. Ugh. Neanderthals, both of you. There is silence hanging in the air as they stand in the kitchen, all three in their pants, abs glistening in the morning frost.
Bacon or not?
Both Robin and Dan nod their heads and begin walking to the TV. Dan reaches it first. A bit of SMTV, mate. The chicks are quite hot in it. Oh, go on then, even if I have to endure those Geordie boys from Biker Grove. I think they're funny as fuck, mate. You don't like them? Flash in the pan. They'll be working at Quicksave in another year. Like Craig David, then. Who? Fuck off, Robin. There is a loud knock on the door. All the guys freeze and stare at the door. After a moment, the knock comes again.
Who the hell is that?
I don't know. It's a Saturday. I mean, we're not expecting visitors.
Well, who could it be then?
From outside the door, we hear the voice of the caller. It's Wayne. It's me, you bunch of dipshits. The boys look at each other.
It's Wayne.
What do you reckon he wants? Adam shrugs. Someone should let him in. Don't. Pretend we're not here. He'll be dicking us with work. From behind the door. You realise I can hear you, you thick twat. Open the door, it's freezing out here. Robin gingerly opens the door and in walks Wayne, instantly dominating the space. He looks around and sees the three lads in just their underwear. Adam with a spatula and an oven glove, Dan with a remote, and Robin shivering at the door. What the fuck have I just walked into?
We're just doing breakfast.
Yeah, proper sausage fest, isn't it? It's bacon, actually. Whatever floats your boat, just don't stain the carpets. Is a guest chalets, remember? There is an awkward silence as Adam turns his back and continues frying the bacon bits. Wayne sits down, taking the remote from Dan, and starts flicking through the 5 channels. Dan and Robin look bemused. What can we do for you, Wayne? Me? Nothing. What can you do for me? Adam walks into the space with some bacon sandwiches and puts them on the table. He makes eye contact with Wayne. Wayne holds it and smiles, leans forward and takes one of the 3 sandwiches. Here, Adam, do you like jokes?
Yeah, sure.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Sam. Adam sighs and stares at him. Samu! Staring directly at Adam and taking a big bite of a bacon sandwich, that's show business. Adam immediately lifts himself up, looking openly angry in front of a smirking Wayne. Robin, observing, intervenes and stands in front of Adam to defuse the situation. Wayne, you came all this way out here to see us. We're doing fine. Wayne laughs. I didn't come here to check on you, piss sticks. I'm away for a few days, going to scout some acts over in Grimsby. So I'm generously giving you the weekend off. I want you back in on Tuesday, painting that dance studio, 9 a.m. sharp. Wayne stands up and looks around again in disgust. There'll be no one on resort apart from you 3. So if there's any problems, I'll know exactly who it is. Well, what are we meant to do all weekend trapped here? Take a romantic walk along the beach in your shitty skivs for all I care. Wayne leans down and picks up the remaining 2 sandwiches, sticking one in his mouth and carrying the other. He looks at Adam and gives him a knowing wink as he walks past, exiting the chalet. Robin looks depressed. What the fuck are we meant to do now? So, Mike, we're back on resort. There's nobody there, and the boys are walking around in their pants.
Yeah, clearly they are frying bacon, which is a dangerous thing to do, I might admit. When we were putting that together, I never actually thought through the logistics of frying bacon in just your pants. That is walking on the wild side. That is danger right there.
Yes, living dangerously. And I think I just envisaged Adam or Dan, whoever's frying the bacon. I think Adam was frying it, wearing a little pinny. They've got a little apron from somewhere. And I can imagine them just in the skivvies with the apron over, just to protect them from any sort of nipple splashes. Or
I think it's worse than that. I think he's just wearing an oven glove, a spatula, and a pair of pants while frying bacon.
That's quite an image.
That is quite an image. And let's not forget, the other 2 boys are also in their underwear watching SMTV. So and Wayne's walking into that. So you can imagine from Wayne's point of view, it will look a bit weird, you know?
Yeah, it's a little men behaving badly. It feels in that light, but I don't think a million miles away from the truth. I think it may have been something that we possibly could have done.
Yeah, well, if I was listening to this and then I took on board what had just happened, that they're letting 3 kind of 19, 20-year-olds stay on an entire resort just themselves with no one else there, I would think that's pretty unbelievable. I don't think that would ever happen. However, it did actually happen.
And we were two of those three boys.
We were there on resort with no one else. No one else on there. It was just us, right?
And it is spooky, isn't it? Right? It really genuinely is spooky being in a place that's full of such life during the summer, and it's so cold and bleak in the winter with no one around.
It certainly was. And there's a few call outs here in these scenes, which we should say right now. And that is, we did have a flatmate that did buy a lot of bacon. And that really did happen. All we had was kind of small potatoes and bacon. That's literally what we lived on: microwaved baked potatoes and fried bacon. And not even good bacon, just bacon bit. It was like all the offcuts of
the trims.
Yeah, a mixture of smoky, streaky back. It was a bit of everything.
Sounds like a Justin Timberlake album. Anyway,
and also we've got to cover out the other thing as well. That scene at the beginning with the song "ReEat Wine," that really happened. We had someone who we live with that would just play it incessantly over and over, and I reacted just like Robin did back in the day. I can't listen to this song anymore. Every morning I would wake up and it would be blasting through the walls. "ReEat Wine," and every time I hear that song, even now, I think back to that. And I think back to that person we were living with. So if you're listening to this, hi, Mike, but your song drove me crazy.
It's like PTSD, isn't it? It's awful. It kind of takes you right back to that moment.
Bose Selector. Was it called Bose Selector? No, Rewind.
Rewind, yeah. And we can't forget the little dig from Wayne there about Sam not being there anymore. That's show business. That's a little bit mean, isn't it? A little bit cruel on Adam.
It's a little bit mean, but also, I mean, there is some. We did know someone that did used to tell jokes like that. That if someone left, they'd go, they'd say the name, knock, who's there? Steve, who? That's show business for you, and it was like the thing. So we thought it was, it's quite apt to put that in, and Adam's obviously reacting to that, and the boys have to come to his aid, and Adam's anger is just below the surface there, isn't it? Just waiting to pop out.
Well, this is it. He's finally met got the girl, and now he can't be with her on resort, so it's a difficult one, isn't it?
It certainly is, but Wayne doesn't gain from that. I think Wayne's just a very bored man that just likes to see the reactions of other people,
I think so, absolutely. Exterior, beach, day. The boys are walking on the sand with their happy shopper carrier bags. Robin and Dan are bickering whilst Adam looks disengaged, picking up the occasional pebble and throws it into the cold, brown, briny sea. Adam?
What?
Snapping back into the now. I was asking you, would you rather fight 400 mouse-sized horses or one horse-sized mouse? Adam doesn't seem to take on board what he's being asked, but uses this as a reason to talk.
Why hasn't she called me back?
For fuck's sake, mate, it's been 12 hours. And Romeo pined for fair Juliet.
I've called her 3 times. She's not answering.
Stalker alert.
I'm just worried. What if something's happened?
Impatient much. She's probably just busy, Adam. I know it feels like we're out of civilization, stuck here in purgatory, but the rest of the world is not. Give her space. Hate to say it, but he's right, mate. Adam looks over at the sea in deep thought.
Should call her again. One last time. For today, just in case.
It's a mistake. Trust me, don't do it. Adam pulls his Nokia 8110 out of its leather belt holster and speed dials. He puts the phone to his ear.
Sexy, leather belt holster. Sexy.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It's ringing.
We hear the dialing tone for a little while as it beeps away. Adam looks crestfallen when suddenly it's answered. We can hear background noise and rustling.
Hello? Hello? Sam?
A male voice responds.
Hello?
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 Who's this?
Who is this?
I asked you first. Is Sam there?
She's busy, mate.
Why have you got a phone?
What's it to you?
Can you just tell her I've called?
No problems, mate.
In the background, we hear Sam's voice.
Why are you answering my phone, Craig? Wrong number.
The phone is then hung up. At this time, Dan runs up behind Adam and pulls down his joggers, exposing his pasty white ass to the North Sea. The phone is still in Adam's ear whilst he looks shocked. Dan and Robin run off whilst Adam stands, his ass cheeks billowing in the wind. Interior, sausage roll factory, afternoon. We see a drab-looking staff room and the back of Craig as he hangs up the phone. Sam enters the room dressed all in white, wearing a blue hairnet. Can I have my phone back, please? Here you go. Can you just leave my stuff alone, Craig? I've asked you before. Chill, Sam. I was in here and it started ringing. I was doing you a favour. Pardon me for trying to be a friend. Sam walks towards him and reaches for the phone. Craig snacks it back playfully, causing Sam to step closer to him. He hands her the phone, and as Sam takes it, he continues holding it for a few more seconds. Sam pulls it, almost snatching, out of his grasp. I'm just messing with you, love. Sam walks towards the door. Sam? Sam turns around to face him. It's really great to have you back. Sam gives a half smile and leaves the room. Interior, chalet bedroom, afternoon. Adam is in his room and is hastily packing a bag. Dan and Robin enter. You'll never make it back in time.
You were one yourself. He's away till Tuesday. I can get down there, see Sam, and be back before anyone's noticed.
I just think it's risky. You don't even know where you're going. You are pretty shit at directions, mate.
Don't care. I have to go.
And what happens when you get there? Have you thought about Sam and how she will react?
It'll be a nice surprise.
I'll pack a bag then.
You coming?
Beat staying in here all weekend, and someone with street smarts has got to look after you. Street smarts? Jesus, what a pair you two would make. I'll have to come as well.
You don't have to, Robin.
Well, I kind of do. One, I'm not staying in this bloody place all by myself for the weekend. Two, I'm not covering up for you two if the management turn up. And three, if they do, then we'll all get it together. Nice one. Road trip. Interior, Camp Holidays head office. Executive boardroom. Dusk. Alan is sat in the large and luxurious boardroom. It's almost empty, with the exception of one individual who is placed at the far end of a 30-seat long table. We stay with Alan and can see a shape, but not make out many of its features. I'm excited, Ellen.
It's going to be a bright future.
Let's push the boat out. Think stars of the stage and screen, selling the dream, a perfect UK vacation. If you were here, we see his hand gesture at shoulder height, then I want you here. He lifts his hand over his head. Think you can do that, Alan?
Of course. I've got some pretty big ideas myself, yes.
Good. As long as it's in step with what I want to do, we've got some big plans and I want you on board.
I'm on board, Glenn. 100%.
No, I know you're respected in industry, but you're also a fighter, Alan, and that's why I like you. You get it done no matter what. We're going to support you. Make sure you get what you need.
Excellent. This is why I'm so excited about working with you.
Good. Now let me talk you through my 12-step plan to boost camp into the fucking stratosphere, mate.
Bit aggressive isn't he?
I think that's the very nature of this guy. I mean, we talked about Glenn at the end of the season, just from the very brief phone message that he left for Alan. It seems like that's moved on and what have you. But yeah, he does seem very forthright and knows what he wants, and you know he's in charge.
He sounds like one of the baddies in Lethal Weapon 2.
Do you think he's got diplomatic immunity?
I think that you modelled the character after. That's who I'm imagining now is the blonde Hitler-looking guy from Lethal Weapon 2. You know, there's gonna be another guy. There's gonna be an old creepy guy behind him.
Yeah, with his diplomatic plates on his car, so he don't get pulled over.
But there is a power play in that scene, isn't there? What Glenn is really doing is telling Alan, "I'm in charge.
Yeah,
I like your ideas. I like you, but you'll follow what I want to do."
yeah, absolutely. It's control, isn't it? 100%. I know you're the boss, but I'm the bigger boss. So as long as it fits in with what we're planning, then great.
Well, he's the money. He's the money, isn't he?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's big money, isn't it? It's not the leagues they were in before. We're talking silly money now, I think, in terms of his general wealth, or at least that's what he's portraying. So I guess time will tell.
So we've also finally, after all this time, we have hinted at this ex-boyfriend. We have talked about him in the third person, and now we've finally heard his voice. We've met Craig, and Craig is with Sam.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shocker, isn't it? I mean, not for us because we wrote the words, but but for the listeners out there, you think about why is Sam and Craig around? What's going on? I mean, we can make assumptions because we know this is at the sausage roll factory, so I guess we assume that Sam is working there, in order to make a living before before she decides what she's going to do next. So.
And it's clear she's not told Adam. Well, she's not, because Adam's obviously quite shocked that Sam has answered her phone, and obviously him being, showing some tendencies there. He's a little bit lovesick, and it's motivating him to suddenly abandon the camp to go down and see her. So, yeah, have you ever done that before, Steve? Have you ever had a long distance relationship and then suddenly felt that urge, that need to just travel and go and do something a little bit reckless?
I have traveled across the country to see somebody, but never without prior notification. I think I'd be too nervous to make sure I got somewhere to stay or some if I turned up. So I think I was always too poor back in the day to not have that worry of not having to sleep in the streets or something. So what about you, Mike?
Oh yeah. No, I once did do that, and because I couldn't then sleep, I had to wash some clothes because I didn't have many, and then they were still wet, so I tried to iron them dry so I didn't look too much like a hobo. And this was the year you had those shiny body warmers, and I remember then getting on a train to surprise a girl who didn't know I was coming to see her. And I wanted to surprise her when she woke up in the morning. Thinking back, that does sound a little bit creepy now. Anyway,
a little bit.
you know who this person is as well. It was an ill-fated relationship. Anyway, and I remember falling asleep I don't remember falling asleep. I fell asleep on a train and woke up to a load of school kids in their uniforms all around me, obviously going to school. And I didn't realize that my head was lying down almost on my chest as I was leaning forward, and I dribbled all over a black shiny body, and I mean drool. It's like tired drool. And I remember waking up and just they're all looking at me, and there's nothing you can do in that situation apart from wipe your mouth and look out the window,
Wow.
And then I did surprise, and I was like, "Surprise, hi!" And she genuinely looked at me, and the first words that came out of her mouth was, "Oh, fuck off."
Really? Oh, after your romantic gesture, that is just
my dribble saturated body warmer and me looking like a bag of crap with half wet clothes. I tried to iron dry.
That is incredible.
Classy. There you go.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so glad you shared that, Mike, because that's genuinely made me smile. I can feel my cheeks rosying up as we speak. But I tell you what, we do need to do. We need to see if Adam's gesture is any better received than the one that you made. Exterior, Kathleen's house, night. Sam gets off the bus and looks weary and tired as she walks up the path towards her house. It's cold and dark, and her modest family home looks warm and inviting. She stops at the step and pulls her mobile phone out, with 3 missed calls showing from Adam on the screen. She smiles and hits redial. As this happens, Sam's mum, Kathleen, a kind-looking woman with dark hair and brown eyes, in her late 40s with a slender frame. She opens the door and greets her daughter. Sam immediately ends the call before it connects.
Darling.
Hi, Mum.
Long day, sweetheart. Oh, you look knackered.
Oh, thanks, Mum.
Now come inside. It's freezing out here. I'll pop the kettle on.
Sam steps forward into the hallway. The door closes behind her. Interior, Kathleen's house, night. Kathleen continues.
Oh, now there's a surprise waiting for you in the living room.
Sam takes off her coat. Oh, has my dress arrived from that catalogue? I was hoping to wear it for the works Christmas do. Sam enters the living room and looks around, shocked. Adam, Dan, and Robin are each perched daintily and nervously on the edge of the sofa, each nursing a bone china teacup and saucer. Hiya! Surprise! Adam bolts up to his feet upon seeing her and almost drops his teacup. It rattles loudly as he tries to regain control, spilling tea onto his hands.
Surprise.
Adam walks forward and gives Sam a cuddle. Sam looks back to the hallway over his shoulder and sees her mum smiling. Adam drops the cuddle and steps back. Sam still looks dumbfounded. Hi, guys. Hi, Adam. I have so many questions. Just give me a minute. Sam leaves the room and walks to her mum. Mum, what's going on? Did you plan this?
No, not at all. I just got back from my line dancing class about 45 minutes ago and they were sat outside. Freezing cold they were. I thought they were gypsies wanting to tarmac the drive, but they explained who they were and how they wanted to see you. Lovely.
I didn't realise Sam's mum was Dick Van Dyke.
They're from Walford, don't they? God, are you really going there, given my history with accent, Steve? Dick Van Dyke.
Sorry.
No, you're no. So now what you're saying is an American trying to play a Cockney, and I'm not accepting that. I am not accepting Dick Van until I listen to it back and I go, it's bloody Dick Van Dyke.
Well,
it's Van Dick Dyke.
Only time will tell. I'm sorry, Mum. I had no idea.
Don't be silly. I think it's romantic. Your father would never have done that for me.
Sam hugs her mum.
Mary Poppins.
Sam hugs her mum and walks back to the living room. So what are you doing here, guys? Well, this lovesick puppy just really wanted to see you. Adam looks embarrassed. And we're alone up there, so thought we'd change up the scenery. You came all this way to see me. Oh, that's so nice. So where are you staying? There is an uncomfortable silence. Everyone looks at Adam.
Well, I hadn't really thought that far ahead. Is there like a B&B or a hostel or something around here?
Guys, Christmas week, you'd be lucky to get anywhere. Kathleen enters the room and puts down a tray of Christmas cookies and mince pies. She notices an uncomfortable silence.
Everything okay?
The boys don't have anywhere to stay.
Well, they can stay here. You can stay here, boys.
No, Mum, that's too much.
Don't be silly. We'll just have to be creative. You can sleep in the conservatory. Sam's Aunt Doreen is staying in a few days, so I've done the guest room up for her. If you boys don't mind sharing, then you can stay. That would be great. Thank you so much.
I'll sleep next to you, Adam. Don't worry, Dan, you're not my type.
Well, that settles it then. Now, who's for some advocaat? Advocaat?
I think it's a silent T.
Advocaat.
Advocaat.
Now, who's for some advocaat? Right, for those that listen who don't know what advocaat is, Steve, do you want to explain what this drink is?
I don't think I can. Have you ever consumed avocado? I don't think I've ever consumed it. I've been aware of it, but I've never drank it.
I have. It's like a yellow, very thick drink it's kind of like custard. It's like an alcoholic custard. Is the is the best way of explaining what an advert. What really big in the 80s. I don't think you get it as much anymore. But yeah, you'd have an advocat over ice, and it's like drinking alcoholic custard. And Kathleen really likes her custard. So
I think it's one of those things, isn't it? She's obviously thinks it's sophisticated. So, but I can't believe the guys turn up at the house not knowing where they're going to stay.
oh no, I totally get that. That is something I would have done when I was that age, without doubt. You know, who thinks that? I mean, you don't think that far ahead, and you just. I have gone to London on a train and not even considered where I'm going to stay that night. Do you know I've done that at times when I was younger?
Really, that's truly terrifying. I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah, and then you just kind of end up in some kind of hostel somewhere, or a dodgy, bed and breakfast, or even a room. Like I remember once staying in a place where it was just a bed and a sink. It looked like something out of Hostel.
Oh dear,
the horror movie. Yeah, but and I remember just not just being so brazen, not thinking that far ahead, and going, you know what, well, I'll end up somewhere.
I the only thing I can ever really recall that was similar to that was with an ex-girlfriend. I'd been to Tenerife on holiday, and we got back. We flew back into, I think it was Heathrow Airport or Gatwick. It was one of the two, and then got the train into central London, thinking we were going to go out to Kent where we lived, and there were no more trains. And I was like, "This is London. There'll be trains, right?" So like, no. It was 12:15 at night, and there was no more trains to get us back to where we were going until 5 a.m. And so we're just there with our summer clothes. It was January, and we had to try and basically we hunkered down outside of one of the stations, sat there wrapping ourselves up in her 3 sarongs that we had,
linen,
yeah,
linen trousers,
yeah, exactly, trying to keep warm. And somebody actually came past and gave us £1. They thought we were begging. It was
fantastic.
So yeah, that was the only kind of unplanned. But we thought we'd just be able to jump on a train and go, but alas, wasn't to be. But let's just say now I always plan massively when I make any journey. I always have it planned down to the nth degree and have to understand exactly what the timetables are for everything. Interior, Kathleen's house, Sam's bedroom, night. Sam is sat on the bed, and Adam is stood near the door. Sam is cradling a plush Moo the cow toy on her lap, and each time she moves or disturbs it, we hear an elongated "Moo." It's not that I'm angry, Adam. It's just that a bit of notice would have been nice.
It wouldn't have been much of a surprise if I told you. I thought you'd be happy.
And I am. Oh, I've missed you, but I wasn't expecting to see half the resort sat on the sofa. Especially after my undignified exit.
I didn't realise. I wasn't thinking. The guys, they were in your corner, by the way.
Adam, let's just leave it.
I'm sorry.
There's a brief silence between them. So you're going to keep standing over there, or are you going to get over here? Adam immediately walks forward as Sam grabs him by the gilet, pulling him on top of her. They start kissing. As Adam moves to her neck, a breathless Sam whispers, "I'm sorry if I smell like sausage meat."
Sage and onion is a real turn on.
Sam giggles as Adam's mouth dances across her jawline. Their lips meet and the kisses intensify. Adam removes his gilet as Sam furiously pulls her jumper over her head, exposing her supple breasts. Sam takes one of Adam's hands and places it on her chest. "Touch me."
God, I missed you.
With you inside me. You know an excuse because we wrote this not long ago.
Yeah, but
Oh.
you saying it. God. La 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 la.
You know, it's creating confusion inside you, Mike. That's what it is.
It's not. It really isn't.
This is
it's
Sam.
really not.
Sam is saying this to Adam. This is nothing personal. Don't worry. They hurriedly remove the rest of their clothes, and Adam positions himself. Sorry. Sorry. It's just because I keep reading slightly ahead to get there, and then it makes me giggle like a child. Right.
It's all right. I'm still trying to imagine Adam's mouth dancing across someone's jawline. I'm not quite sure what...
I don't know. I'm sure it's very romantic. They hurriedly remove the rest of their clothes, and Adam positions himself between her legs. There is much kissing, caressing, and touching. Adam looks at Sam.
I love you.
Sam doesn't reply, but grabs him to her. Adam pulls forward, getting ready, positioning himself to enter her. Moo! Oh, that's not me.
Oops, sorry, Moo. Not tonight.
Adam throws Moo across the room. As it hits the wall, we hear a fainter and more broken, deeper growl-like sound. Meow. They resume their act of passion. As Adam's hips move forward and back, Sam is making quiet moaning noises. There is an off-screen shout from downstairs.
Are you lovebirds going to be long? We're getting ready to play darts in the dining room.
We'll be down in a minute, Mum. Think you can be quick?
I don't think that's going to be a problem for me.
They carry on as we fade away. Okay.
I'm fading away. I'm having to both not only listen to it, but having to say these things as well. Seriously, I know we get into the writing and stuff, and we try and push our consciousness out of this and go, write the story the way the story should be written. But it's hard listening to it, man. It's hard listening to you do it.
I'm sorry if my seductive tones were a bit too much for you. Then I can only apologize.
I think you are really pushing the boat when you're saying the word seductive tones. I don't think there's anything seductive about either one of us, to be perfectly honest with you. Giggling like children.
Yeah, this is true. And we write these scenes, and we specifically said we have to take it, like you said, take ourselves out of the situation, not think of it for the podcast, but think of it for the script. And that's what we did. And alas, can cause some mild embarrassment along the way.
Is Kathleen liberal then? Do you think Kathleen knows that that's going on? Or is she just giving them a little bit of time? Is she quite a future-minded mum?
It might be one of those. I mean, I think she's not daft. She knew that Sam had been in a relationship with Craig since she was very young, and so he's obviously spent a lot of time with her, and you'd imagine that now she's an adult. She's lived away all summer. She's come back, so she's not treating her like the little kid she was before. I think she probably is treating her, as an equal or an adult at least. Interior, Kathleen's house, conservatory, early morning. The boys are all sleeping in a row, top to tail, with Dan, Robin in the centre, and Adam at the edge. Dan is spooning Robin, who doesn't seem to mind. They look rather peaceful. Sam tiptoes in and bends down to the sofa bed to wake up Adam. Adam! She shakes his shoulder. Sam repeats this a few more times, and Adam finally comes to. He opens his eyes.
Oh, hey, beautiful.
Morning. Look, I hate to leave you, but I've got to go to work. I've got a shift on.
Can't you get out of it?
I can't. They're really strict and they're short-staffed. Plus, I could really use the money.
Okay.
Look, don't land around here all day, okay? You three will have to get out of the house. Mum's going to be in.
Any ideas where we should go?
Well, there's some decent pubs in town and a snooker club. If you let me know where you are, I'll come and meet you after I finish my shift.
Awesome.
He leans forward and kisses her. Did you just make a sloppy noise?
She licks her face as she leaves.
Sam looks. Sam looks over to see Robin and Dan spooning. Oh, if only I had a camera. I've got to go. Sam kisses Adam on the forehead and leaves. Adam snuggles back and drifts off to sleep. Interior, entertainment's office, day. Karen is sat alone in the office when the phone rings. Entertainment, Karen speaking. We can't hear the voice on the other end as Karen responds. Oh, hello, Alan. Yes. Yes. Very good. Yes. It's, no, he's not in at the moment. Really? That's a lot. Oh, yeah, yes, I can take a message. Yes. I'll tell him. Important. Okay, yep. Okay. All right. Ta-da! Ta-da! Karen goes back to reading a magazine, and after a minute or two, picks up a pen and puts it in her mouth. In deep thought, we see her write on a notepad. Simply, Alan called. 200 ice lollies. Exterior, street, afternoon. The three boys are walking around the town, taking on the sights. There is a lot of Christmas shoppers bustling around a very wintry afternoon. The boys look cold and are not dressed appropriately for the time of year. Oh, I am freezing. I can't walk anymore.
What time is it?
2 p.m., mate.
It's too early to go back.
We can't keep walking around here all day. Hey, let's go to that pub over there. Looks decent. The boys immediately turn towards the wine lodge. There is music blasting out and what appears to be a Christmas party in full swing. Adam taps his pocket.
I need to find a cash point. I'll meet you guys in there, all right?
Typical excuse to get out of the first round, that, mate. Shocking. We follow Robin and Dan as they make their way towards the pub. Interior, wine lodge, afternoon. It's a busy, bustling wine lodge with Christmas music playing loudly. Along the throws of small groups is a large group of women, all wearing party hats and exchanging gifts. Dan smiles broadly as they walk into the busy bar. Now, this is my kind of place. A bit of atmosphere. What are you having? I'll get the first one. Oh, pint of the good stuff. Barman, yeah. 2 pints of lager and a hot chocolate, please. He preempts Dan. Oh, I just need to warm up. I never said a word. That'd be a first. Exterior, street, afternoon. Adam is walking along the street, hands in his pockets, hunched into his leather jacket. His breath is clearly visible as he scans each side of the street, searching for a cash point. He reaches a corner and looks around, then spots the unmistakable sign of Mr. Porky's Rendered Meat Products Limited. Recognizing this as Sam's place of work, he walks across the roads towards the perimeter fence. He spots a group of workers dressed all in white outside the entrance at a small bus stop style shelter, chatting and smoking. He walks towards the gate and stops as he spots Sam amidst the rest of the workers. A smile breaks out on his face, and he takes a few more steps, about to make his presence known, when he watches Sam, giggling, touching the arm of a tall, muscular man with his back towards him. Adam stops and takes a few steps back, watching this interaction. Sam and the mystery man appear jovial and mildly flirtatious, deep in conversation. Adam watches, the smile quickly leaving his face. He pulls out his phone and dials Sam. He watches from afar as she takes her phone, looks down, and puts it back in her pocket. Sam finally gives a lingering hug to the mystery man. Adam, having seen enough, turns away and walks back the way he came. Exterior, Porky's entrance, afternoon. Sam walks from the group and pulls out her mobile phone. We see one missed call on the screen, and she presses star and 3 to unlock the handset. She's about to hit redial when the handset lights up. Sam answers without looking. Hi, Adam. Adam? Not the last time I checked. We enter a split screen with Donna in her bedroom. Sorry, I missed Adam's call. I was about to call him back. Yeah, I heard the boys have descended. You surviving? Oh my God, they turned up last night, right out of the blue. What did your mum say? Oh, she was fine. She invited them all to stay. Mum loves a house full. Has my man been behaving himself? Kind of. Donna goes quiet, and Sam realizes she has to explain. I saw him cuddling Robin this morning. It was so funny. They both giggle. So, everything okay with you and Adam? Yeah, great. I mean, he did tell me he loved me last night. Oh my God! And what did you say? Nothing. We were, well, you know, it was probably just pillow talk. It's Adam. I know. It was so nice. Well, do you? What is this, an interrogation? I have ways of making you talk, mein Fräulein. Of course I do. For a long time, I just wasn't expecting it. I couldn't say the words. There was a lot to take in. Him suddenly being there, saying that. If truth be told, I'm scared of admitting it. Why? I'm at the end of the season. But he's going back. I'm not stuck at this factory. I know what happens when we sort during a long season. Have you spoke to Adam about this? He only has eyes for you, head over heels. Dan tells me constantly he never shuts up about you. You're right. I'll talk to him. I'll tell him how I feel. It's not really about that, though. I feel lost, directionless. My plan didn't work out. As Sam says this, the factory whistle blasts, indicating that break time is over. Donna, I've got to go. I'll give you a call later, okay, babe? Sam hangs up and hurries into the factory entrance. Moment of reflection there, Mike? What do you think?
I think the coincidence of Adam finding Mr. Porky's and seeing Sam outside talking to another man is obviously not going to help Adam's mindset, and the fact they haven't answered, I think is going to obviously lead to quite a few questions. And again, it comes down to that at that age, how would you broach a conversation like that? It's a bit of a difficult one because you don't have that emotional maturity at that, at that level to be able to go in there with a level head. So I can imagine that there's all sorts probably running through Adam's mind at the moment.
Yeah, and who's this mystery guy that we've seen him with? Is it Craig? Is it someone else? I mean, his mind must be racing. Yeah,
could be an extra, could be Craig, could be something, could be nothing. Who knows? Well, we know, but no one else does. So, Steve, I don't know if you've really picked up on a theme that's running through this episode. Have you picked up on it? And I must admit, when you're writing it, you don't see it. It's only when you're listening to it and talking it back, there is a theme right through this episode.
Go on, enlighten us, Mike.
We are a little bit obsessed with pork, sausages, bacon. Right, there is a strong theme of meat and pork running right through this episode. The bacon at the beginning, the Mr. Porky's sausage factory. I mean, it's Sam's pillow talk. Adam says he loves her, and her pillow talk is, "I'm sorry, I smell like sausage meat," which I think is hilarious. But there's probably lots of people out there going, a girl would never say that. And maybe this girl's thinking, she hasn't even gone for a wash or a shower. She's done a full shift in the sausage roll factory.
Oh, yeah. She's got long day fanny and everything, hasn't she?
That's
just
No. So that was completely unconscious, right? So if we're going to reflect on that, I never really connected that until I've heard it.
Well, look, this is the thing. We have lots of intentional themes that run and recurring jokes that run through, and guess maybe there's also some subliminal shit that lands in there too that we weren't aware of. So it is interesting to see. You know what? And where things are going to go next, I'm sure you've all got opinions and ideas where you think that things are going to go. So if you do, why don't you drop us a message on our social media sites? So we were on Twitter at ScriptsBad, on Instagram at Bad Scripts, and the Facebook page. Be sure to have a comment on there. Tell us what you think is going to happen in the next part of this. How is Sam going to explain what's happened? How is Adam going to cope with the fact that Sam has been speaking to a mystery man? How much of that hot chocolate is Robin going to have drank by the time Adam gets there? All important questions. And we will have the answers for those in our next episode coming to you next week. So from myself and Mike, I want to wish you a wonderful remainder of your week. And Mike, if you can leave us with some final words.
The only thing I can possibly comment on right now is I too smell like sausage meat.
I can verify that. So we'll speak to you next time on the Bad Scripts podcast, The Last Resort. From me and from Mike, it's a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bad Scripts was written and performed by Mike Garlia and Steve Jones, a Beach Tide production.